At this craft show, I made So today we're setting up a booth at a craft show. It's going to be pretty interesting because it's an outdoor craft show on December 7th. It is currently 28 degrees outside, so I'm waiting a little bit. Hopefully it'll warm up a little bit before I go out and set up. But I want to walk you guys through my entire process for setting up a booth at a craft show. So I'm going to be showing you what products I'm going to be selling. It's close to Christmas time, so hopefully we'll sell a lot of Christmas type gifts, Christmas gift type products. I'm going to be showing you the supplies that you're going to need. I'm going to be showing you whether this craft show is a flop or not. Hopefully it's not. My strategy for this craft show is kind of twofold. One, this is my first time at this particular craft show. It's actually at a coffee shop in downtown Gainesville, Georgia, and I really have no idea what to expect. I don't know how many vendors are going to be at this thing. I didn't pay at all to get a booth here. So sometimes that means the craft show is not as good. So I didn't bring as many products to sell. I'm kind of testing out this craft show because what you don't want to do is bring $10,000 worth of product and there'd be 5 booths and no one shows up and you sell $200. That would not be good because you have the risk of damaging products in transit to and from the booth. That always happens a little bit. So you just want to kind of have a strategy. My strategy is let's test this out. I've got maybe $800, $900 worth of product. Maybe that's not enough. We'll see. And also, my second fold strategy is I kind of want to clear out a lot of my leftover inventory from the year, start the new year, 2025, with a blank slate so that I can test out some new products that I'm pretty excited about in 2025. So I'm taking you along for that entire journey. Should be a fun video. Let's get started. Okay, so we just got everything set up. It's about 9, what time is it, Chris? It's about 9:03, so we probably got here a little bit early. Could have definitely set up earlier, and so came in to get some coffee inside this awesome coffee shop that is hosting this event. One tip that I would definitely tell all of you guys if you're doing any kind of craft show is to take some help with you. I have my co-host for the day. I'm gonna flip the camera around.
What's up?
Chris, what's up? So we're totally set up. We got some free coffee, which is really nice, and honestly, we're just kind of hanging out until everything gets started at 10. So we'll keep you guys updated. It's 1:33. We got about an hour and a half left. We've been experiencing a pretty slow day so far. I think we're at $257 in sales. So that's a pretty slow day. But charcuterie boards, cutting board butter, cutting boards, those have been selling really, really well. So we'll see how the last hour and a half goes. Maybe it'll pick up a little bit. We'll see.
Selling coasters has turned out to be one of the hardest things for us to do today. The board butter, the cutting boards, the charcuterie boards are so easy to sell. But our biggest struggle today has been selling the coasters.
Coasters, can't sell them. Cannot sell them.
We just sold some though. So maybe our coaster luck is turning around, you know?
It might be.
Maybe
hopefully. People only buy coasters in warm weather.
That might be it. It was freezing this morning. It's warming up now. I might even have to take this puffer jacket off, but yeah. I think maybe that's the theory. We'll test it. We'll get back to you. We will get back to you, and we will tell you if the strap for selling coasters is warm weather.
So it's 3:20. This sale wrapped up at 3 o'clock. So we are done. We are packed up. Our car is absolutely loaded down. Chris is here as well. I would say overall, this sale, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I think that's kind of where I'd put it at. In just a second, I'm going to tell you how much I made. But a couple of things that I learned. One, for this sale, at least, epoxy projects did really, really well. Right at the beginning, we had some epoxy coasters. I think I literally had 2 epoxy coasters that just were left over from a previous project. And I was like, yeah, I guess I'll just put them out. They sold instantly. We had some epoxy charcuterie boards. Those sold. And one thing I also noticed was even if someone wasn't going to purchase the epoxy, a lot of times it was the epoxy projects that drew them to the booth. Yeah. And so they would see like the blue or the black or like, whoa, that looks crazy. And it kind of drew them in, but then they might even buy something else that wasn't that epoxy. So If I were to do the show again, I think I'd have more epoxy projects. By far, the best seller of the day was the cutting board butter. I was selling it for $8 a can, and I'm pretty sure everyone that purchased a cutting board or a charcuterie board also purchased some cutting board butter. I think I don't
every single one.
I don't think we sold a single cutting board or charcuterie board that didn't have cutting board butter. So that was by far our best seller. We got not close to selling out, but we sold well over half of what we brought. Coasters did not do super great. I'll show you some footage right here. I have some farmhouse coasters is what I call them. It's like reclaimed lumber, literally a square of a board. And I think one of my customers even made a comment that was like, yeah, I think most guys could probably just look at that and say like, yeah, I could probably make that myself. But we had some coasters that were laminated boards, multiple strips of wood together, and I think we sold out of those. Mm-hmm. So there was some like $5 a piece, I think. So we would sell them in sets of 2 or sets of 4. We sold out of those. The other thing too is just this show had nobody at it as far as customers. I mean, this was the least crowded show I've ever been to. It's not the least I've had in sales, so per person that was there, I was making more money, but there might have been 300 people total the whole day. It was a 5-hour show. Chris, you got anything to add?
I had a lot of fun, and I learned a lot. I know what end grain is. I know what face grain, long grain, that's what it is, and the difference, how it affects your knife. I learned that Ben makes his butter with mineral oil, with beeswax, and with a lot of love. So, yeah.
Hey, that's a great recap right there. That's a great recap. One more thing before I tell you how much I made. Having a Square reader is a game changer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Square does not sponsor me in any way. They had no idea I'm making this video, but I've been using their stuff for a long time. Their POS, their point of sale, is amazing. It's really intuitive. Chris over here has never used Square before, right? And he was making sales, like I'd be talking to a customer and he was making sales by himself, or I would go to the bathroom and he was making sales. So all that to say, the interface, like on an iPad or on an iPhone, is very, very simple. And also it's nice because you can, with one little device, you can accept Google Pay, Apple Pay, cards, tap, all that kind of stuff. And I brought some cash for change. Like if someone wanted cash orders, I don't think a single person even said, hey, do you have change for 100 or whatever? So we didn't do a single cash order. Every single one of our orders was through Square. So if you don't have a Square reader, you need to get one. Like that is the way to go at craft shows. At this craft show, I made $426. And once again, I didn't pay any kind of vendor fee at all. I'm paying Chris. I'm paying him. Can I tell him? Can I tell him how much I'm paying you?
Yeah, sure. Tell him my wages.
$15 an hour. And so, how many hours have you worked? Can you do that math for me real quick? While you're thinking about it. So basically, my cost was, I think, around $100 by paying Chris. So, but yeah, $426 in sales. I would say it's like, for being here 5 hours, at an hour for setup, an hour for teardown. It's not terrible. I've definitely been to worse shows, but it's not amazing. I think the biggest thing I've learned is if you're going to be successful at a craft show, you've got to have the right products. I had some products that were great. I actually didn't even have my best-selling product, which is succulent planers, with me. That was a huge mistake. Right here's a video that talks about all of my best-selling products. So go ahead and click on that video, and I'll see you there.